So every now and then you come back from traveling all over the planet. You meet a guy down at the Orlando Creator, what was that, Creators Hub?
Creator Hub Live.
You decide, fuck it, let's just chop it up for a while on a Monday afternoon. Steven, say hello to everyone.
What is up, guys? How are we doing today?
Good. So, how was the weekend? Did you have fun?
Overall, it was a fantastic event. The first day was a little on the unsure side, and then I ran into some weirdo in my elevator. He happened,
You stalked me. That was for sure you
he
stalked.
happened to follow me down the same hallway that I'm staying in, and next thing I know, he's inviting me to breakfast. I don't know. It's kind of odd, but I did show up. So,
That's awesome. So,
and here we are.
how was the event for you?
All in all, the event was fantastic. So again, I will say, like, day one, I had a really difficult time, like, just getting in that groove because that's out of my network. My network is business. My network is agency side. So the creator side of it is a whole different animal of people, and I was having a difficult time really connecting with them on Friday. But Saturday, it seemed like a light switch flipped, and everybody was open to having conversations. Um, I assume it's because a lot of people haven't seen each other in a while, so they were all connecting, and so they clicked up, and it just made it a little more difficult. And by Sunday, everything clicked with me to the point to where I'm actually looking forward to going next year.
Well, I think what happens too is you get there the first day and everyone's like, yeah, connecting with people they know, but you have the kind of personality where you're like the old bull and the young bull. They sit there at the top of the mountain, and young bull wants to run down and fuck all the cows. The old bull says, "Hey, let's just walk down. We'll fuck them one at a time."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
At the end of the day, everyone's so in a hurry to make so many connections at these events that I learned a long time ago. Just find the 3 or 4 good connections that are worth your time. You can't connect with everybody, nor do you even want to.
absolutely.
And at these events, you see all kinds of people just trying to collect business cards. I don't even touch business cards anymore. If I can't text somebody and communicate via text, I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and
So
that's a big thing for me too. I'm big on quality versus quantity. I don't need a big team of people. I don't need to meet everybody in the room. I need to meet the right people in the room.
that is
I've
true.
jumped on 3 Zoom calls since I left there, and I just got home today at noon.
That's
So,
awesome.
to put it in perspective, I've been home 6 hours and been on three Zooms already, trying to figure out how can we make 1 + 1 = 2 with each other, and figure out how do we work together. Because again, my background is on the business side of things. So the creator side, they don't understand my background, but I'm understanding a lot more of theirs. And they see a niche for me to come in and help them on their side. So I've had one guy reach out to me that we literally had a 5 minute conversation. I didn't even think he knew who I was, because we didn't get a chance to get into it. But he listened, I guess, to enough of the conversations that were had that he wanted to have a conversation with me. Hi,
Well,
Pup.
I was on a Zoom call with this guy earlier too. This
I
is
love that. That's my little buddy right there.
this is Theo.
Hi, Steele.
Every time he hears me doing a podcast, he comes over and reaches up and he's like, yo, come on, let me get on, man. Let me get
I
some
need to get
face
in
time,
this,
man.
bro. You forgot about me.
He's like, hey, when are we going to talk about Dogecoin, man? Don't I'm the
That's
Dogecoin dog.
yeah, I love it, man.
So you mentioned something about creators, and you're a business architect. I consider you a business architect, somebody that can literally architect somebody's business and create better processes. And when you're talking to a lot of these guys, I kind of like looked at from a distance, and it was good because they were hearing from you things that they probably haven't even thought of themselves, nor had anybody else talk to them about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so initially, I'm a little older than those guys are. You know what I mean? The majority of them, anyway. And then the ones that I got a chance to connect with, I was able to offer them the business advice to take what they do on a daily basis, and they can actually monetize that to help them build what they're doing, make it better, make them more money, and even more longevity, understanding on how do they turn this into a business model versus a business idea.
And
A
if you
lot of
talk to a
people,
lot of those guys that were there this weekend, that was what they were there for. They needed business. They were a lot of, I mean, hate to say it, really don't want to offend anyone, but a lot of them were not financially where they want to be or even broke.
Yeah, yeah. So we had that conversation with a few different guys, and they were, kind of saying the same thing. How do I make this make sense and or make money with it? And the reality is, you might see a familiar face online that you've seen 100 or 1,000 videos from, and you might think to yourself, these guys have to be well off. But the reality of it is half of them really are struggling within themselves just to get to the next conference. So
Well,
the
it's not
videos,
even that too, because you got to have structure to keep a business. You got to have, processes in place, and a lot of them don't have a team around them.
they don't even know what a process is. And the problem with it is they have a lifestyle to keep up with because now they have a following that's expecting them. So they've set this bar so high that with this bar being as high as it is, they have to continue to produce this kind of content. And if they don't, everything they do goes down the drain. And the reality is this, and this is a question I asked, I'll say 10 people this weekend. But I said, the reality is this: in 10 years, where are you going to be? Because this is a fair question. When content goes out the window, or let's just say AI happens to take over the majority of content, and it's the inevitable. It's going
God,
to happen.
that's going to be so fucking weird, and I'm starting to see it already. And
Yep,
when people start following accounts that are being run and managed and creating content by an AI, it makes me wonder, like, that is just not healthy for mankind or humanity.
it's not at all. You're going to see a lot of people losing their minds because they're going to think they can do something that a computer can do. They're going to try things. They're going to think
Well, I mean,
ways.
I've got an AI agent that literally can do 1,000 posts on Instagram posts, and not only that, but it can actually comment on an unlimited number of posts all throughout Instagram. Now, I'm not unleashing it like that because if I did, I'm pretty sure Instagram shuts my account down because it's humanly impossible to do what this AI agent can do.
Well, if you blow the algorithm, so to speak, if you blow the algorithm, and it's like the Brooke from Snapchat, she kind of brought that up. But if you blow that algorithm, they block your account immediately.
That is true. I've seen it.
So
Or not even if they don't block the account, what they also do is for lack of a better word, they shadow ban you. You
yeah,
get
yeah,
you get horrible engagement.
yeah. Well, she said what they're doing a lot more of even after the shadow ban is technically a strike two now. And what she was saying is like they actually go as deep as you won't be able to get into anywhere using the IP address. So if your computer is ever attached to an IP address that's been blocked
Right.
whatsoever indefinitely, then you can't even log in. Even you can't go to Orlando from Kentucky and log in. That's it's not an option.
By the way, shout out to my guy Bruce at Legendary Foods. Literally the healthiest snacks I've ever eaten.
So yeah, it's just a factor of learning that side of it. And for me, what I was trying to explain to these guys, a lot of these guys were, and I want to say shout out to Icon and his whole team, man. I will say this: I had a chance to sit down on Saturday with Icon and Ben, and
Wasn't that Sunday?
no, I did Saturday too.
Oh, okay.
So Saturday they had a roundtable. Saturday they had a big roundtable thing at the end of the event. And so I sat down with Icon and Kevin. I'm sorry, Kevin, Icon, and Ben, and then the table was full. And there was a few other guys there that I'm not familiar with their names, so I apologize. But man, I got more just out of networking at that table than I did the entire event. And this is nothing against any of the speakers. All the speakers are fantastic. I took 13 pages of notes, so clearly I learned something. But that one-on-one time was worth my weight of ticket in gold.
Yeah, I think more people have to understand it's not the quantity of people that you meet at these events, it's the quality. And you only get that quality connection if you spend time with people.
Well, just to clarify this though, right? That doesn't mean that anybody and everybody there, some people are quality and some people aren't. It's what you're looking to get out of it as a person. So, like, my quality of person may be different from your quality of person. The reality is, I'm going there for a certain thing. So, like, for instance, for me, my whole goal going to that event was to learn more about AI. Before I stepped foot on an airplane, I knew enough about AI to get me in trouble and make me look really stupid online, and I was very good at that.
Yeah.
But I also thought AI was this huge mess of stuff that I never could understand because I couldn't put it in
It is a
perspective.
huge mess, by the way. Some people are using AI for everything, and they don't know that it works better if you focus in on one task.
Well, I will say this shout out to, again, not to bring it up, but shout out to Icon and Kevin. Both Kevin and Icon work hand in hand. And Kevin sat down with me, man, and I mean, for a good 40 minutes and literally explained Icon and explained AI and put it in the palm of my hand and then let me do some decoding on it and learn. I mean, I learned more about it in 45 minutes than I've learned my whole life. And it was just so refreshing. When I got up from that table, I thanked him probably 10 times just because I felt like that made it all worth it to me.
Interesting. So talk a little bit about what your why is. Why are you doing what you're doing? And by the way, your company's called Pressure. Talk about
Yes.
why you called it Pressure, because I actually think that's a great company name.
Thank you. So pressure became because what I do is I apply pressure to your business. I'm coming in where you're already stressed. You're already trying to figure out how am I going to make this work? And I am going to make you apply, I'm going to apply more pressure to you. You're probably going to feel more stressed. And I'll tell you the same thing I tell everyone else, and excuse my French. But when I walk in to meet with somebody, I tell them straight up, I'm going to fuck your free time clean up. If you think you have free time right now, that has gone out the window because your business is in a spot where you need me. So now it's time to grind again. We're going to go back to day one. We're going to start from the A's and B's, the one, two, threes, and we're going to go straight from the beginning, from systems to sales training to everything. And what's most important than anything, and a lot of business owners fail to figure this out, be good at what you're good at. Don't try to run everything. You're not good at everything. Hire people that are better than you and put them in those positions and be good exactly what you're good at. If you're good as the face of your computer, be that. But if you're the editor and that's what makes you money, be that.
Yeah, I think it's true. So talk a little bit about how you get people to get over their fear of failure, because a lot of entrepreneurs, their biggest fear is that they're going to fail.
Well, so we'll go back to even high school, right? So I attended a small high school here that was very poverty driven.
Give it a
I
shout out.
But Valley High School, and
What
I
were
could
they, the Bulldogs?
no, it's Vikings, Valley
Way to
Vikings.
go, Valley Vikings!
But I will tell you, even then, it's a very poverty-driven school, and there's a lot of good kids there that are falsely driven. They think they're a product in their environment. People don't understand a product of your environment doesn't mean who you are now, where you are now. It can be where you're going. My product in my environment now is people like you, Chris, and the people that I've met that make me better, that make me want to be better, and make me want to do more. That's the product of my environment.
That
But
is
if I
true.
wanted to go back to my past, and I wanted to focus on my past, my whole neighborhood was full of drugs, out robbing people, stealing people. My family was doing the same thing. The list goes on. I could have been a product of my environment then and got into the dope game, started selling dope, started robbing people, and I could have been doing that right now. But
Well,
that's
yeah,
not a product of my environment.
I feel you. I was in Chicago, 54th and Justine, and yeah, drug dealing and
Yeah.
basically stealing, like just people creating gangs of teams of people that would just go out and rob people. That was a big part of my environment. A lot of kids, when you don't have money, when you don't have things that you can put in your pocket and buy new gym shoes, whatever, you then start turning towards the things that everyone else is doing to make large amounts of money. And that is sad to say. The easiest thing for them to do is steal, to create crime, sell drugs, whatever it is,
Well, for me,
prostitution.
we'll go back to elementary school, right? This is where my first entrepreneurship came in, and I just knew I needed to be different than everyone else. We got shoes once a year when my mom got her taxes back, if she had enough money left to get his shoes. We had to make them last. So we learned real quick to clean your shoes up and to take care of stuff and get hand-me-downs, so on and so forth.
Are
So
those
I used
still
to
your
take,
shoes from grammar school?
so no, so the funny thing about this though, right? I don't wear Jordans now, but when I first started making money, I never had any of these shoes. So when I first started making money, my goal, or not, it was more of a personal achievement for myself, is I wanted to buy every pair of shoes that I ever wanted as a kid that I could never afford. I will never wear them. I don't give a shit about them now, but it was an accomplishment to show myself, like, look, you can do this. Like, and as silly as that sounds, I needed something like that just to say, look, my past may have been rough. My mom and she really tried. My grandmother really tried. With that being said, we didn't have it, but now I do. So this was just a form of me getting every pair of shoes. I've got 80 pairs of shoes. I'm not going to wear a fucking pair of them. I think half of them's ugly as shit. But when I was a kid, it was shoes I wanted so bad. And so now I do my podcast now, and every time I do my podcast, I'll film on this wall right here, and I change my shoes out, or I'll film on another wall that talks about success, and that's the only two walls I'll film on because that represents me. But getting back to what I was saying, like from my entrepreneur side, started in fourth grade, man. I took Hot Wheels to school and used to sell them to kids for
Oh my
$2.
God, I grew up with Hot Wheels too. That was like the big Hot
Yeah,
Wheels were like the craziest thing.
it was. And so once I got in the sixth grade, we went in the middle school at Frost Middle School, which is gone now. But I started selling candy bars. So I didn't realize I wanted to sell candy bars, but I knew I liked candy, and you're not allowed to have candy in school. So I wanted to be the cool kid. Went to the dollar store that was walking distance from my house, and I bought $3 worth of candy bars. You could get four candy bars for $1. Well, I got to school, and everyone's like, "Man, sell me a candy bar for $1." And I realized real quick, like, oh, I can make some quick money, four times my money real quick. So that's exactly what I did. I started selling candy bars. So then sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, for me to get my basketball shoes and all that stuff, what I did was I sold candy bars, man, and I would buy all the shoes out, my basketball shoes and all that stuff like that. That's how I was able to get my basketball shoes and all that. So
Are those
that's where
the
I got my
ones?
niche start. Sorry.
Are those the shoes?
No, no, no. I still have like six pair of them shoes though. They're
Yeah.
all beat up, and they were never Jordans. I couldn't afford Jordans. I just bought. I had the Shaquille O'Neals when they were 29.99.
I gotta tell you, Shaquille did a great thing for kids when
Man.
yeah, making shoes affordable. Think about this for a second. In many ways, your upbringing, your environment, your challenges as a kid made you who you are today.
Oh, no question. When I speak on stages, every time I get on stage, I bring this up. I am thankful for my back. Don't feel sorry for me. I have people that come up to me. I feel so sorry for you when they hear my story. Don't feel sorry for me. This is what made me me. This is a blessing. And I want to tell you this, and we're going to get off subject. I just want to share one thing with you guys. And this is for anybody that really is going through something they don't talk about. One thing is this: my mom might have left us 2 or 3 days at a time, to go do some things that she shouldn't have been doing, but she showed us unconditional love all the time. And she made every moment count that she was with us, right? So that's the difference where people fail. I can spend 20 of 24 hours a day with you, but if it's not quality time, am I really there? That's the difference. But if I spend 4 good hours with you, you're going to remember that for the rest of your life. My mom always showed us nothing but unconditional love.
That's awesome. Let me ask you a question. For the people that are afraid to pursue their dreams, for the people that are letting fear paralyze them, what would you tell them to get them to get over their fear?
So we'll start with this, right? And I do a lot of mindset training and I help people get over that bubble. And I have this question quite a bit, but I'm going to challenge you to do one thing first. I want you to wake up 15 minutes earlier every single day than your alarm clock is originally set to get up. And in that 15 minutes, you're not allowed to touch your phone and you're not allowed to turn the TV on. Anything that can hinder
You're
your
also
day.
not allowed to touch yourself.
No, no. I mean, well, hold on. There's a catch to that. There is a catch to that. You have to do whatever makes you happy first thing in the morning. And if it is touching yourself, by God, do it. But if it is taking a shower, if it's enjoying your favorite cup of coffee, if you like to go out on the porch and fucking stand there asshole naked, by God, do it. But you have to do that every single morning. But you cannot touch your phone and you cannot turn the TV on. Anything that can turn your day negative, you're not allowed to do that.
I'm pretty sure if I go out on my porch, butt naked to the world in the morning, which by the way, I get up before most of my neighbors anyhow, I'm 93% sure my neighbors are going to be like, hey, put on some clothes.
Well, either that or they won't notice. You know what I'm saying? They won't be able to
Well,
see exactly what's going on anyway.
well, it's funny because I start my day, I just wake up naturally around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, it's funny because I got three little guys that have got them into that routine too, that they're literally right all in my face at about 5 o'clock. Say if it gets to 6 o'clock, they're literally right in my face going, hey, we gotta go, you know what, we gotta do that thing in the morning. And it's funny because when you do something enough times, I think it's like 90 days for me. If I do something for 90 days, it becomes part of my process. It
Yeah,
becomes
it's
a
repetitive.
habit. The funny thing is, dogs are just the same way.
They absolutely.
It took me about 90 days of getting them used to my schedule by waking up in the morning. Because when I first got them, well, actually I got them from puppies. They were actually born here in my house. And as they started getting older and getting up, they started realizing, holy fuck, this guy likes to wake up before 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's when we're going to wake up. And it's funny because now they're like clockwork, 6 o'clock in the morning, they're ready to go. They're up before me sometimes, looking me right in the face, going, "Hey, the sun's almost up. Let's go."
Yeah, I love it. But
Yeah.
on that mindset side of it, in that 15 minutes time, the first thing you have to do first thing in the morning is you get up and you go stare at yourself in the mirror first. And you got to be okay with looking at yourself because, right, you're your biggest critic. You might worry about what other people say, but can you truly look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to do this today? Today is my day. I'm going to start today. Today, I'm going to win today. And you have to say three positive things that you are going to do today. Just these simple things like this is a start of where you train your mindset. Now, back on your question, just to clarify on that, you have to start now, right? And, one of the things that
Do
I've
not
said for a
put
long
shit
time,
off. Do not put shit off.
yes, you have to start. What happens if you wait till tomorrow? Then you're going to wait till tomorrow. I seen a sign the other day and I was eating in a restaurant and it said free beer tomorrow. Well, guess what happens when you show up tomorrow? It's free beer tomorrow. And then again, and then again, and again. It's the same shit if you go to start. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. This sign will stay embedded in your head. And you will never, and just to clarify, once you start, it's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. And you're going to feel like quitting in the beginning because it's going to fuck your routine clean up. But you have to stick with it. And it's kind of like your dogs. Simple way to put it. Once you get used to it, it's just automatic. You don't talk about it anymore. It's nothing we're going to do. Like, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you're going to get up and do it.
I don't know where I heard that before, but somebody once said you got to want to succeed as much as you want to breathe. And it's
Yeah.
literally one of the best quotes that I've heard. And I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but at the end of the day, I actually I know what that feels like because I mean there have been days when I was growing up where I'm not kidding you, like I literally had 1 day left of money to pay all my bills and my rent and stuff where I was going to be homeless. I was going to be kicked out. And I remember that and I always thought to myself, those days are the days that I worked like I literally worked till I worked 24 hours that day and I literally worked because I needed to succeed as much as I wanted to breathe or eat or have shelter.
But you know what you're forgetting right here? In that day, and tell me I'm wrong on this, in that day, how many times did you feel like giving up and you could have easily made an excuse to said, fuck this. I'm tired.
I mean, here's the funny thing. I could always give up. I always tell people failing is free. It is free to fail. It costs you nothing to fail. Failing is on sale every single day. The devil will sell you failure for free. So at the end of the day, if you want to fail, do nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to do anything. It is free to fail.
Well, so I'm gonna throw an analogy back at you. Failing cost you everything.
Well,
Not starting, it cost you everything.
it costs you everything, but it costs you nothing to fail. If you do nothing, you will
You
fail for
get
sure. You will
for
get a big pile
the,
of
the
failure.
reality is you get out of it what you put into it. So if you put nothing into it, you get nothing out of it.
That's
But
exactly.
here's the thing,
That's
even if
exactly
you start and fail, you're further along than people that never started.
true. And here's the other reason. People look at failure as being the result of not achieving or getting anything in return. And
Yep.
I always tell people, failure is my greatest teacher.
Yep.
Failure will you will learn more from your mistakes and failures in life than you will learn from going to Harvard University and borrowing $200,000 to have some guy that's never done it before tell you how to do it because
Yep.
those that can't teach, but
That's
those
it.
that do do.
Yes, sir. Well, the thing about it is, so let me tell you this story. Um, I
Shout
went
out to
to
all the Harvard professors, by the way.
Yeah, I went to middle school, and at middle school, I had a teacher in middle school named Mr. Robinson, and he used to tell me all the time, Steve, you're going to end up the janitor. You're not ever going to be shit. You're going to end up, or no, I'm sorry, you're going to end up the trash man. You're
Well,
going to end up the garbage man. That's what you're going to end up.
okay, so
And
I got
so,
to tell you something. I dated a girl one time who was the daughter of the owner of Waste Management, and I'm pretty sure the teacher that told him he was going to be the janitor motivated him to be the best janitor ever. because he was worth
Yes,
billions after it was all said and done.
absolutely. So they told me this, right? Well, I failed a few more times. I did a lot of silly stuff and I learned a whole lot real quick. Once I learned a whole lot real quick, I went back to that school and was able to speak at that school 10 years later after I got out of that school.
That's
And so,
awesome.
and so when I went in, I had a whiteboard behind me and they didn't know I was going to use this. I didn't either. It just happened to be on the stage. So it worked out perfect. And I was speaking to about 300 students. These students are eighth graders. So they're just, kind of getting their feet wet and everything. But I broke the analogy down at the end of it. And I said, Mr. Watkins tells me all the time that I was going to end up being the garbage man. And they all started laughing. So I told me he still used this analogy. So I brought the whiteboard out there and I broke it down like this. I said, well, the garbage man starts off at $60,000 a year, where your teacher right here with 4 years of college, 4 years of debt, and he's behind the curve because he didn't make no money for 4 years. All he did was rack up debt. So he's $250,000 in the hole, only makes 38 to 40,000 a year starting out. I said, so the trash man actually has retirement and 401k, and the list goes on with benefits, where your teacher here has to pay for all of their own. I said, so with that being said, and I just did simple math real quick. Right now, we're $750,000 ahead if only I was the trash man. I said, so it don't sound like it's a bad idea to be the trash man after all. They all started laughing, and needless to say, they never asked me to come back and speak at that school again.
Listen, sometimes the worst teachers can be the greatest motivators, and they don't even know it. At the end of the day, I've heard so many stories similar to that, where the teacher basically told the student that they had to go to college to amount to
Oh
anything,
yeah, oh
that
yeah,
they would never amount to anything, that they would just be a janitor or a garbage
yeah,
man. You just
yep,
got to study hard. You got to rack up all that debt. And it's funny because I moved out of my house when I was a little over 17 years old. I just graduated high school early. There was a program. It was funny. I don't know if they had this at your high school, but one day I'm doing my like 14th Saturday in a row of doing detentions. Don't ask me why. It's just, I like to, I don't know, whatever. At the end of the day, I'm sitting there stuck for 4 hours where I can't talk, and I'm supposed to bring something to read. So fuck, I'm reading everything I can, and just to keep my mind active. And that's kind of what detention was actually designed to punish you, but it actually made me enjoy learning. It made me enjoy having some peace and quiet and reading something. So shout out to Richards High School for teaching me some really good, valuable lessons on my Saturday afternoons.
yeah.
Here's the funny thing. One day I'm reading this book, this like leaflet that I picked up in the school, and it's like, hey, if you hate this fucking school and you want to graduate early, you can literally do this. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's a fucking great idea. I literally eliminated, you didn't have to go to, you can eliminate gym, study hall. You can eliminate half your classes, go to school for 5 hours a day. And literally, they let you graduate early because you eliminated all the electives and you basically doubled up on all the requirements. And I graduated in January while my friends waited till June. And then my first thing I did, because I was on work program too at the same time, where when I left school, I went to a job. I literally got myself an apartment and a car, and I'm literally out of high school. And my friends, I went to graduation parties, but they were like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Why the fuck did you go an extra 6 months?" I'm like, I consider high school like some sort of fucking penitentiary. Like, well,
Sure.
if they said, "Hey, you can get paroled early," I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do that shit." And
Yeah, no,
it
it's a
was funny
no-brainer.
too because I was like the only kid in my class that took advantage of that program, and most of my friends didn't even know it existed. And like I told all my friends, I'm like, look, you should read it. It's like it's a free pamphlet. I just picked it up because I was doing detention one Saturday. I started reading it. I'm like, I can leave early? What? I'm like,
That's a game changer.
I'm telling you, my birthday was April 26th, so I literally turned 18, but I graduated at 17. And then I had my own apartment shortly thereafter down in Chicago, which that was a fun little apartment. It was a studio apartment with a Murphy bed. I don't know, you know what a Murphy bed
Yeah,
is?
oh yeah, yep.
I know, it's like
Yeah, it folds out of the wall.
And then I got two dogs in an apartment when I was young, and Sugar and Silver, a white Eskimo and a silver Keeshond. And one day, I'm trying to impress this girl at that apartment, and I went to the grocery store down the street. I walked down the street, And I'm like, hey, I want two lobsters. And I bought like two lobsters, which by the way, at the time were like $12, which I thought was expensive. Try going there now for $12 and getting lobsters.
Right.
And so the guy has the lobsters swimming around the fish tank. He's like, any two? I'm like, whichever two you think are the best. So he gets them and he's got the rubber bands on their claws and he's like, I'm like, oh, take those rubber bands off. He's like, no, no, you take those off when you get home. And he's like, do you know how to make these? And I'm like, yeah, like, fuck yeah, of course. Yeah, sure, sure. Never made a lobster in my life. So he rolls them up in the paper. I get some other stuff, some butter, some other shit. I think a bottle of wine or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, this is going to be a great date night. I'm going to press the shit out of this girl. And yeah, she wasn't impressed. We had to go out to eat afterwards. But so I put the lobsters. I'm thinking, okay, how the fuck do you make a lobster? It actually occurred to me when I got home. I'm like, I mean, it's got to be the oven, right? It can't be a frying pan. I limited all the things that I didn't have. Well, can't use a frying pan. Don't have a pot to boil them in. It's got to be the oven. Like everyone knows that it's got to be the oven. So I take the rubber bands off the fucking lobsters and I put them on a cookie sheet in the oven and I set the oven to like 300 degrees. And I go get ready and I'm, shave and get myself clean. All of a sudden, my dogs are barking at the oven. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And I hear inside the oven, I'm like, the fuck? I turn the oven light on. I'm like, these fucking lobsters are running around like they're doing the Olympics. Their feet are being burned off.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, all right, it's got to be like 400 degrees. I got to fucking put these guys down. And now I'm thinking to myself, holy fuck. I'm like literally fucking doing what the Nazis did to the Jews to these lobsters. This is like horrible. So I go back and I think literally another 5 minutes they'll be done and ready to eat. So I'm getting myself ready. My dog's now going crazy. And my one dog, the Keyshawn, is muscular, he's strong. He's like, I'm gonna fuck these lobsters up. And he's like going crazy right in front of the oven. I look in the oven, they're running around even faster. I turned up the heat, they ran around faster. I'm like, all right, this is fucking insane. I gotta just like, somehow take a hammer and just, kill the lobster and then put them back in. So I open up the oven. Well, you know how the oven, when you open it, it has that like that stop where it stops and it becomes like a ramp almost.
Right.
Well, I had this old oven. I pull it down and it comes on the ramp part. And literally, one lobster over this shoulder, another lobster over this shoulder. The one lobster's got one claw working still. He's like clawing away. My big dog's like trying to kill him. The other lobster was like fucking pretty much dead already. And it was just horrible. I got lobster guts all over the place. My dog's crying
Oh
because he
shit.
bit the hot lobster. So oh, this story gets even better, by the way. So I put both lobsters back in the paper and I throw them down a garbage chute. I was on the 37th floor, so the chute was from the 37th floor. I don't know if you know this, but you have to like throw the garbage and it goes down.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it says right there, you can't put live animals down the garbage chute. Well, I'm thinking to myself, these fuckers aren't live. I mean, supposedly. So I put them down the garbage chute, and sure as heck, the girl rings my door, and she's like, "Hey, I'm downstairs." I'm like, "Hey, change of plans. We're going out to dinner." So we go have some Chinese food. We come back next morning. I wake up, and my the superintendent of the building like pounding at my fucking door. And I'm like, it's like 6 in the morning. I'm like, what? This is back in the day when I wasn't waking up early, and it was like a Saturday. And I go to the door. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, did you throw some live animals down the chute? And when he said that, I'm thinking, no, I love dogs. Why would I throw a live animal down the chute?
Right.
He's like, well, one of the neighbors says you did. And I'm like, who? He's like, I don't want to say, but he points his finger, and it's the lady next door who's a total bitch. And I'm like, well, that bitch is fucking crazy. Why the fuck? I got two dogs. Like, no way I'm throwing a live animal down the chute. And when he said live animal, I didn't think about it for a second. He was talking about the lobsters. And this retarded lady that was next to me, she literally saw me throw something down the chute. And she was so curious, she went downstairs with her dog to walk her dog. And there's this big ass garbage can down there. And she somehow stuck her head over the thing and went and grabbed the thing that was still moving. And she pulled it out. And it scared the fuck out of her and her dog. So she called the police and said, I threw a live animal. Well, the police told her right away, hey, this isn't a live animal. This is like dead lobster. And it just happens to still be crawling. And so like the guy's like, yeah, he's like, she called the police and everything. And, I just got to make sure you understand you can't throw live animals. And I'm like, holy fuck, those were the lobsters. I thought they were dead. I fucked that meal up all day long. He's like, yeah, it turned out that they were like, large cockroaches. I didn't know that's a lobster. That was the dead, that dead parts of a
Oh
lobster.
my gosh.
By the way, I went back to the grocery store a couple days later to get some stuff. And I said to the butcher, I said, hey, by the way, how the fuck do you make lobsters? Because I'm pretty sure I know how you don't make them. And then he explained to me, you put them in a boiling pan, you lock the pan lid, blah, blah, blah. So now I actually know it's better to ask when you don't know. Because when you're young, you're like, oh, fuck, I can make a lobster, no problem.
Golly.
All right, so listen, I like to end every call with something inspirational. And by the way, if that story is inspirational to anyone, let it be. Don't try and make lobsters in the oven. That should be your most inspiration right there. What would you tell people? What would you tell them to get them off their ass and chase their dreams?
Quit making excuses and start now. It's okay to be messy. It's okay to not know what you're doing. It's even better to fail. Michael Jordan scored over 3,000 points. He won, I don't know, countless how many games, and he's known as the greatest basketball player, and I'll argue with you, of all time. But you don't talk about the 5,000 shots that he missed. Without those 5,000 shots that he missed, he would never have been the greatest ball player of time. Guess what he did? He started. He started very messy to the point to where he was not even getting drafted out of college to go to the NBA.
Well,
Nobody wanted
actually,
him.
wait. He was actually the number 3 pick in the draft.
So when he first went to college, straight out of high school, even colleges weren't really interested in him.
That is true. Well,
And
here's the
then when
funny thing. He wasn't even starting on his high school team.
right, correct, yes. But when he entered the draft, he was projected to be number 3, but they had so much stuff against him. If you go back on the videos, and he even talks about this, he's made plenty where they had more against him than with him. Ended up being the best ever. But guess what he did? He started now and he started messy. You can fix anything, you can better yourself. It doesn't matter if you even fail because failure don't count. It means you started. It
Well,
means you started. It's lessons. You can't buy lessons. You can't
that
teach
is
experience.
that is super true. Hey, listen, I'm enjoyed chopping it up with you. We got to do this again sometime.
Yes, please.
And by the way, are you coming down to the summit in Lubbock, Texas? Are you going to hang out and do some podcasts?
My plan is to be there Monday.
Sounds good. All right.
So,
So where can people find you?
Uh, so I'm on Instagram, the real Steve Craven. I'm on TikTok, the real Steve Craven. You can go to our website, pressurepodcast.com. I'm on YouTube as well. We're launching our podcast back again. I'm hoping within 30 days to have somewhere around 10 episodes released.
Well, listen,
So,
motherfucker, you got to interview me then. And
oh,
now,
it's coming. Trust me. We didn't get there yet. It's coming. You can bet your ass on it. You're not getting away from me on this one.
all right. He's the best person I met down at the summit or the creator conference this weekend in Orlando.
Thank you, sir.
And I've enjoyed chopping it up with you. Hold on one second, buddy.